Okay, here's a question that's been a little perplexing for some students, so I thought I would go over it here in this video. I'm going to use Excel just to help me organize the work. You cannot use this Excel during tests, but if you're interested in learning how to do some things in Excel, you might be interested in following along. All right, so it says find an equation of the line described below. Write the equation in slope-intercept form, solved for y when possible. And then we're given 2 points to use to get this done. Now, when you have slope-intercept form, that means that you have y equals mx plus b, where the m is the slope, and we know that as rise divided by run, or in other words, the change in the y values over the change in the x values. And then we have the b, which is the y coordinate of the point on the y-axis where the line crosses. Okay, so that means if it's on the y-axis, then the coordinates of the ordered pair would have to have a 0 for x, and then some value for y, and in general we just call that b. Now, neither of these points have 0 as the x-axis, so no y-intercept has been given here. So we're going to have to use another formula, which is called the point-slope formula. And that is where we have y minus y1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. So the y sub 1 and the x sub 1 just represent coordinates from any point that is not a y-intercept, even though if it was a y-intercept, this would still work. So we can use either one of these points, and I guess we'll just use the first one mentioned, and we're going to do it y minus, the y value is 9, equals m times x minus the x value is 11. So all we need in order to complete our equation here is the value of m, which we know is rise over run. So let's calculate rise and calculate run, and then we'll divide them to get our slope. So the rise would be the two y values subtracted. And we usually say y2 minus y1. So if we consider this to be the second point, then this would be our y2, 11, and 9 would be our y1. So we're going to do our rise by doing 11 minus 9 to get 2. Now the run, we have to do the same order. Start with that second point. The coordinate for x is 9, and then we have 11 for the first point. So it's equal to 9 minus 11. All right, so when we divide those, the rise divided by the run, we get -1 as our slope. So now we can complete our equation by just replacing the m with -1. So now we have the completed linear equation in point-slope form. However, we were asked to give this in slope-intercept form. So that means we have to solve it for y. So it'll be in the y equals mx plus b format. All right, so to do that, we're going to take this version of the equation, and we're just going to simplify the right side. And then after that's done, we'll add 9 to both sides so that y will be all by itself on one side of the equation. So first we have to get rid of these parentheses on the right side, and we're going to do that by distributing the multiplication of -1 to both the x and also to the -11. So when we do that, we'll have a equivalent equation in simplified form. It'll say y minus 9 on the left, and on the right side of the equation, it'll be -1 times x gives us -x, and then -1 times -11 gives us +11. Now all we have to do is add 9 to both sides, add 9 to both sides, okay, And so that zeroes out. Negative 9 plus 9 is 0, and y plus 0 is just y. So now we have y all by itself on one side of the equation, and then we have negative x plus 11 plus 9 is 20, plus 20. Okay, so that would be the answer to the question.